First contact. The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the HFY Horizon, humanity's most advanced deep space exploration vessel. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the star-speckled void. 20 years of space exploration had hardened her resolve, but nothing could have prepared her for what they were about to encounter. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous signal," reported Lieutenant Raj Patel, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It's faint, but definitely artificial." Chen's eyebrow arched. "Origin? Approximately 500,000 kilometers off our starboard bow. It's not matching any known human frequencies." The bridge fell silent. The implications were clear. They might be on the verge of humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. "Helm, adjust course. Let's get a closer look," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. As the horizon approached the source of the signal, a small craft came into view. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, sleek, almost organic in design, with a silvery hull that seemed to shimmer and shift in the starlight. "Life signs?" Chen asked, her eyes never leaving the alien vessel. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the ship's ganobiologist, shook her head. "Inconclusive. Our sensors aren't calibrated for potential alien biology, but the ship appears to be damaged. Look at the scorch marks on the hull." Chen made a decision. "Prep a boarding party, full containment protocols. I want to know what's on that ship." Hours later, Chen stood in the Horizon's quarantine bay, watching through a transparent barrier as Dr. Rodriguez examined their unexpected guest. The alien was small, no larger than a human child, with iridescent scales covering its body and large, multifaceted eyes that reminded Chen of a dragonfly's. "It's remarkable," Rodriguez murmured, her voice filled with wonder. "Reptilian characteristics, but with a biology so advanced. I've never seen anything like it." The alien suddenly stirred, its eyes focusing on the humans. A look of terror crossed its features, and it began to emit a series of high-pitched clicks and whistles. "It's afraid," Chen realized. She stepped closer to the barrier, holding up her hands in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "We're not going to hurt you," she said softly, knowing the alien couldn't understand her words, but hoping her tone would convey her meaning. The creature's whistles subsided, replaced by a low, mournful trill. It curled into itself, looking small and vulnerable. "Captain," Rodriguez said, her voice tight with emotion, "I believe this alien is just a child, and it's alone." Chen felt a pang in her chest. Whatever had happened to this young alien, it was clear that it had been through a traumatic experience. Despite the potential risks, she couldn't help but feel a surge of protectiveness. "Dr. Rodriguez, I want you to do everything you can to make our guest comfortable, and get our linguistics team working on communication. We need to figure out what happened." As Chen turned to leave, alarms blared throughout the ship. She raced to the bridge, her heart pounding. "Report," she barked as she burst onto the command deck. Lieutenant Petel's face was grim. "Captain, we've got multiple contacts approaching at high speed. They just dropped out of some kind of faster-than-light travel. Config unknown, but they're definitely not human." Chen's mind raced. Could these be the alien child's people coming to rescue it, or were they the ones responsible for its abandoned state? "Hail them," she ordered. Moments later, a harsh, guttural voice filled the bridge, accompanied by a visual of a creature that looked like a nightmarish fusion of insect and reptile. Its mandibles clicked as it spoke, the words translated by the ship's A. "Humans, you harbor a fugitive. Surrender the abomination immediately, or face annihilation." Chen's blood ran cold. She glanced at the tactical display, noting the size and apparent firepower of the alien vessels. The Horizon was outgunned and outnumbered. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the HFY Horizon," she responded, keeping her voice level. "We found an abandoned craft with a single occupant. We are providing humanitarian aid. Please explain the nature of your claim on this individual. The alien's compound eyes seemed to flash with anger. That creature is a blight upon the galaxy, a failed experiment that should never have existed. Its very presence threatens the natural order. You will surrender it, or we will destroy your ship and take it by force. Chen's jaw clenched. Whatever the truth was, she couldn't in good conscience hand over a child, even an alien one, to beings that spoke of it with such hatred. "I'm afraid I can't do that," she said firmly. "This being is under our protection. I propose we discuss this situation diplomatically and—" The alien cut her off with a roar. "Foolish humans, you know not what you protect. You've made your choice. Prepare to be destroyed." The transmission cut off, and Chen turned to her crew. "Battle stations. All hands, prepare for combat." As klaxons blared and crew members rushed to their posts, Chen's mind whirled. They were about to enter humanity's first interstellar war, all for the sake of a child they couldn't even communicate with. But as she looked at the faces of her crew, determined, resolute, ready to fight for what they believed was right, she knew they were making the right choice. Tactical, arm all weapons. Helm, evasive maneuvers. Comms, send a distress signal to Earth. And someone get our little guest to a secure location. Chen's voice rang out clear and strong. "We may be outnumbered, but we're not outmatched. Show these aliens what humanity is made of." As the first salvos of energy weapons lit up the void of space, Captain Chen stood tall on her bridge. Whatever the outcome, this day would go down in history. Humanity had made first contact, and they would show the galaxy that they stood for compassion, justice, and the protection of the innocent, no matter the cost. The battle was about to begin, and with it, a new chapter in human history. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the fate of two species hung in the balance. Unlikely allies. The UES horizon shuddered as another volley of alien weapons fire slammed against its shields. Captain Sarah Chen gripped her command chair, her knuckles white with tension. Shields at 63% and falling, Lieutenant Patel reported, his voice strained but professional. "We can't take much more of this, Captain." Chen's mind raced. They were outgunned and outnumbered, but she refused to give up. "Helm, execute pattern Delta 9. Weapons, focus fire on their lead ship's propulsion systems. If we can't outgun them, we'll outmaneuver them." As the horizon dove and weaved through the barrage of enemy fire, Chen couldn't help but think of that alien passenger. What was so special about this child that warranted such aggression? Suddenly, the ship's internal comm crackled to life. "Captain," it was Dr. Rodriguez, her voice tinged with excitement and fear. "The alien child, it's trying to communicate." Chen made a split-second decision. Pipe it through to the bridge. A series of melodic trills and clicks filled the air, accompanied by a rhythmic tapping. The bridge crew exchanged bewildered glances. "It's not random," Ensign Yuki Tanaka, the communications specialist, said suddenly. "There's a pattern. I think it's trying to interface with our systems." Chen's eyes widened. "Let it." "Captain, is that wise?" Patel questioned, but Chen held up a hand. "At this point, we've got nothing to lose. Do it." Moments later, the bridge's holographic displays flickered and changed. Complex equations and diagrams appeared, swirling in three-dimensional space. "My God," Chen breathed. "It's showing us how to modify our shields." The next few minutes were a flurry of activity as the crew worked to implement the alien child's suggestions. Chen didn't understand half of what she was seeing, but she trusted her team. Just as another barrage of enemy fire approached, the horizon's shields flared to life with renewed strength and a strange, shimming quality. "Direct hit," Patel exclaimed, then his voice filled with wonder. "But no damage. Captain, the shields aren't just blocking their weapons, they're absorbing the energy." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Well done, everyone. Now, let's show them what we can do with that energy. Weapons, prepare to return fire. The battle turned in that moment. The Horizon danced through space, its newly enhanced shields shrugging off attacks while its weapons, now supercharged with the absorbed energy, tore through the enemy ship's defenses. As the alien fleet began to retreat, Chen ordered a ceasefire. "Let them go," she commanded. "We've made our point." With the immediate threat neutralized, Chen made her way to the quarantine bay, determination in her stride. It was time to properly meet their unexpected ally. The alien child was huddled in a corner, its large eyes fixed on Chen as she entered. Dr. Rodriguez stood nearby, a mix of awe and concern on her face. "How do we communicate with it?" Chen asked. Rodriguez handed her a tablet. "It's been drawing. I think it's trying to tell us its story." Chen studied the images on the screen. They showed an advanced civilization, a terrible war, and a desperate escape. But more than that, they showed a being that was different, feared, and ultimately cast out by its own people. "It's a hybrid," Rodriguez explained softly. "Created by combining DNA from multiple species, its own people saw it as an abomination, a threat to their genetic purity. They wanted to destroy it, but someone, maybe its creator, helped it escape." Chen felt a surge of empathy for the small creature before her. Abandoned, hunted, alone in a vast and uncaring universe, until now. She knelt down, meeting the alien's gaze. Slowly, carefully, she extended her hand, palm up, in a universal gesture of peace and offering. For a long moment, the alien simply stared. Then, with a hesitancy born of fear and hope, it reached out its own hand, a delicate, six-fingered appendage, and placed it in Chen's. A warmth spread through Chen's mind, and suddenly she could understand. Not words, exactly, but feelings, images, concepts. The alien, whose name roughly translated to Starborn, was sharing its thoughts directly. Gratitude, fear, hope, a desperate plea for help, not just for itself, but for countless others like it, hidden away on distant worlds. Chen squeezed Starborn's hand gently. "You're safe now," she said, knowing that while the words might not be understood, the sentiment behind them would be. "We'll protect you, and we'll help the others too." As she stood, Chen's comm unit beeped. "Captain," Petal's voice came through. "We're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's Fleet Admiral Kensington." Chen took a deep breath. The real challenge was just beginning. She would have to convince her superiors, her entire species, to take a stand for this alien child and others like it, to potentially go to war with an advanced alien civilization, to change the course of human history. But as she looked down at Starborn, saw the trust and hope in those alien eyes, she knew it was the right thing to do. Humanity had reached the stars not just to explore, but to make a difference. To stand up for what was right, no matter the odds. "Patch the Admiral through to my private comm," Chen ordered, "and tell the crew to prepare for a long journey. We're not going home just yet." As she left the quarantine bay, Chen's resolve hardened. They had survived first contact, won their first interstellar battle, and forged an unlikely alliance. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that together, human and alien alike, they would face them head-on. The stars beckoned, full of danger and promise. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. Journey through the stars. The HFY Horizon streaked through the cosmos, its enhanced engines pushing the limits of human technology. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewscreen, watching as unfamiliar star systems blurred past. It had been 3 weeks since their encounter with Starborn and the subsequent battle. 3 weeks of tense negotiations with Earth, of preparing for a journey into the unknown. "Captain," Lieutenant Petal's voice broke through her reverie. "We're approaching the coordinates Starborn provided." Chen nodded, her face a mask of determination. "Bring us out of FTL. Let's see what we're dealing with." As the horizon decelerated, a massive structure came into view. It was a space station, but unlike anything humans had ever constructed. Its design was organic, almost alive, with sweeping curves and pulsing bioluminescent patterns. "My God," breathed Dr. Rodriguez, who had joined them on the bridge. "It's beautiful." Starborn, now a constant presence on the bridge, trilled softly. Through their growing telepathic bond, Chen sensed a mix of emotions from the alien child: hope, fear, and a deep longing. "This is where the others are?" Chen asked, receiving a mental affirmation in response. "All right, let's do this by the book." Scan for life signs, energy signatures, anything that could pose a threat. As the crew busied themselves with preparations, Chen couldn't help but reflect on the enormity of their mission. They were about to attempt a rescue operation of unprecedented scale, freeing countless hybrid aliens from what amounted to an intergalactic prison camp. The potential for disaster was immense, but so was the potential for a new era of interspecies cooperation. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. "Captain," Patel shouted, his fingers flying across his console. "We've got multiple ships dropping out of FTL. It's them, the ones who attacked us before." Chen's jaw clenched. "Battle stations. Shields up, weapons hot. But do not fire unless fired upon. We're not here to start a war." As the enemy ships surrounded them, a familiar harsh voice crackled over the comms. "Foolish humans. You dare to trespass in sacred space. Your interference ends now. Surrender the abomination and leave, or be destroyed." Chen stepped forward, her voice steady and resolute. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UAS Horizon. We are here on a humanitarian mission to rescue those you have unjustly imprisoned. We have no quarrel with your people, but we will not stand by while innocent lives are threatened." A derisive laugh echoed through the bridge. "Innocent? These aberrations are a threat to the purity of all species. They are mistakes, errors in the cosmic order. Your primitive minds cannot comprehend the danger they pose." As the alien commander spoke, Chen felt a surge of emotion from Starborn. Images flashed through her mind, generations of hybrid children, born in secret, each with unique gifts and abilities. She saw the fear of the pure species, their desperate attempts to maintain what they saw as the natural order. And she saw the potential, the incredible advancements that could be made if these hybrids were allowed to thrive. With newfound resolve, Chen addressed the alien fleet. "You're wrong. These beings you call mistakes are the future. They represent the best of what all our species can be when we work together, when we embrace diversity instead of fearing it. We will not abandon them, and we will not let you destroy them." For a moment, there was silence. Then, without warning, the enemy ships opened fire. The battle that ensued was unlike anything in human history. The Horizon, enhanced by Starborn's knowledge, held its own against the technologically superior force. But they were still outnumbered, and Chen knew they couldn't last forever. As energy beams crisscrossed the void and shields flared with each impact, Chen felt a tug on her mind. Starborn was communicating, not just with her, but with the hybrids on the station. They were awakening, their combined mental powers reaching out across space. Suddenly, the station itself came to life. Massive organic tendrils unfurled, swatting enemy ships aside like insects. Beams of pure psychic energy lanced out, disabling weapons and drive systems. The tide of battle turned in an instant. The enemy fleet, caught off guard by this unexpected resistance, began to retreat, but Chen knew this was only the beginning. As the last enemy ship disappeared into FTL, Chen turned to her crew. "Well done, everyone, but our mission isn't over. We need to get those hybrids to safety before reinforcements arrive." Over the next several hours, the Horizon's crew worked tirelessly alongside the awakened hybrids to evacuate the station. Each alien was unique, some humanoid, others defying easy description, but all bearing the marks of their mixed heritage. As the last group was transported aboard, Chen felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. The hybrids, through Starborn, were thanking them, not just for the rescue, but for seeing them as people worthy of saving. With the station emptied, Chen gave the order to depart. But as they prepared to jump to FTL, a massive ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel directly in their path. It dwarfed the horizon, its design a perfect fusion of organic and technological elements. A new voice, deep and resonant, filled the bridge. "Humans of Earth and children of the stars, we have been watching. You have proven yourselves worthy. The time has come for us to meet." Chen exchanged glances with her crew, then with Starborn. Whatever came next would change the course of history for all their species. With a deep breath, she stepped forward. "We're ready," she said, her voice firm and clear. "Let's talk." As the horizon was enveloped in a shimmering teleportation field, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of trepidation and excitement. Their journey through the stars had led them to this moment, and whatever lay ahead, she knew humanity would face it with courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to doing what was right. The adventure was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The Cosmic Council. Captain Sarah Chen blinked as the teleportation field dissipated. She found herself, along with a small team from the horizon including Dr. Rodriguez and Starborn, standing in a vast chamber unlike anything she had ever seen. The walls seemed to shift and pulse with living light, and the air itself felt charged with an otherworldly energy. Before them stood a diverse array of beings. Some were vaguely humanoid, others defied easy description, but all exuded an aura of ancient wisdom and immense power. At the center was a tall, ethereal figure with silvery skin and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. "Welcome, children of Earth and stars," the central figure spoke, its voice resonating not just in their ears but in their minds. "I am Zephyrus, and we are the Cosmic Council. We have watched your species for millennia, waiting for the day you would be ready to join the greater galactic community." Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite her awe. "We're honored to be here. But I have to ask, why now? Why didn't you intervene when the hybrids were being persecuted?" Zephyrus' expression was unreadable. "The path of evolution is complex, Captain. Sometimes, species must find their own way, make their own choices. Your actions, choosing to protect those different from you, to stand up for what you believe is right even in the face of superior force, have proven that humanity is ready for the next step." Dr. Rodriguez couldn't contain her scientific curiosity. "Are you saying you've been guiding our evolution?" A sound like chiming crystals filled the air. Laughter, Chen realized. Another council member, a being that seemed to be made of living flames, spoke. "Guided? No. Observed, yes. You humans have a saying. With great power comes great responsibility. We have the power to shape worlds, to create or destroy entire species. But we choose to let life find its own path, intervening only when the balance of the cosmos is at stake." Chen's mind raced with the implications. The hybrids, they're part of this balance. Zephyrus nodded. "They are the next step in cosmic evolution, a melding of species, of abilities, of perspectives. They represent the potential for unity in diversity, a lesson many species struggle to learn." Starborn trilled softly, and Chen felt a wave of emotion through their bond, a mix of validation, hope, and a deep sense of purpose. "The beings you rescued," Zephyrus continued, "are but a fraction of those in hiding across the galaxy. Your actions have set in motion events that will reshape the cosmic order. But be warned, not all will welcome this change. The road ahead will be fraught with danger." Chen straightened, her resolve hardening. "We're prepared to face whatever comes, but we can't do it alone. We need guidance, knowledge." The council members exchanged glances, seeming to communicate silently. Finally, Zephyrus spoke again. "We will provide what aid we can, within the bounds of cosmic law. But the true strength must come from within, from humanity, from the hybrids, from all those who believe in a future of unity." Suddenly, alarms blared from Chen's communicator. Lieutenant Purtell's voice came through, tense and urgent. "Captain, we've got multiple fleets converging on our position. It's not just the ones we fought before, it's like half the galaxy is bearing down on us. Chen's heart raced, but she kept her voice calm. Understood, Lieutenant. Prepare for emergency maneuvers, but hold your position. She turned back to the council. It seems our time is short. What do you propose we do? Zephyrus raised a hand, and a shimmering hologram of the galaxy appeared in the center of the chamber. The balance has shifted. War looms on the horizon, a war that could tear the fabric of space-time itself, but there is hope. The hologram zoomed in on a distant sector of space. There is an ancient artifact created by those who came before even us. It has the power to unite minds across vast distances, to foster understanding between all sapient beings. If you can find it and activate it, you may yet prevent this war and usher in a new era of peace. Chen nodded, her mind already formulating plans. We'll do it, but we'll need help, allies, resources. You shall have them, Zephyrus assured her. We will send word to those who support your cause. But remember, Captain, the greatest power lies not in weapons or technology, but in the hearts and minds of those who fight for what is right. As if on cue, the chamber began to shimmer. Our time grows short, Zephyrus said. You must return to your ship and prepare for the journey ahead. The fate of the galaxy rests in your hands. Chen felt the familiar tingle of teleportation beginning. But before they vanished, she locked eyes with Zephyrus. We won't let you down, she promised. The cosmic chamber faded away, replaced by the familiar surroundings of the Horizon's bridge. Chen wasted no time. Status report. Multiple fleets approaching from all vectors, Pato reported. But, Captain, you need to see this. On the view screen, ships of all shapes and sizes were appearing out of FTL, but instead of attacking, they were forming a protective ring around the horizon. A chorus of voices filled the comms. This is the Arcturian Defense Force. We stand with Earth and the hybrids. Syrian Collective reporting in. Our ships are at your disposal, Captain Chen. Pleiadian peacekeepers here. Let's show these separatists the power of unity. Chen felt a lump in her throat. They weren't alone. Far from it. All right, people, she said, her voice ringing with determination. We've got a galaxy to save and an artifact to find. Let's make history. As the Horizon and its newfound allies prepared to jump to FTL, Chen caught Starbone's eye. The alien child was no longer huddled and afraid, but standing tall, a symbol of the future they were fighting for. The stars beckoned, full of danger and promise. The next phase of their journey was about to begin, and with it, the fate of all species hung in the balance. But Chen knew that together, human, hybrid, and alien alike, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. The battle for the future of the galaxy had begun. The artifact's call, the UES Horizon, accompanied by its diverse fleet of allies, emerged from FTL in a remote sector of the galaxy. Before them loomed a massive nebula, its swirling gases concealing the ancient artifact they sought. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the view screen. Any sign of pursuit? She asked. Lieutenant Patel shook his head. Nothing yet, Captain, but our long-range sensors are limited in this nebula. Chen nodded, her face grim. We don't have much time. Dr. Rodriguez, what have you and Starbone discovered about the artifact? The xenobiologist stepped forward, excitement evident in her voice despite the tension. It's incredible, Captain. From what we've pieced together from ancient records and Starbone's genetic memory, the artifact is a vast network of interconnected nodes. When activated, it creates a galaxy-wide psychic field, allowing for instantaneous communication and empathic connection between all sapient beings. A weapon of peace, Shen mused. But how do we activate it? Starborn trilled softly, images flashing through Chen's mind. It requires a hybrid, she translated, a being of mixed species, to serve as a living key. The implications hung heavy in the air. Starborn was volunteering for a role that could very well be fatal. Before Chen could respond, Alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple contacts dropping out of FTL, Patel shouted. It's the separatist fleet, and they've brought reinforcements. Chen's jaw set in determination. All ships, battle formation Delta. We need to buy time for the ground team to locate and activate the artifact. She turned to Dr. Rodriguez and Starborn. You know what needs to be done. Good luck and Godspeed. As the space around them erupted into chaos, a small shuttle detached from the horizon, streaking towards the heart of the nebula. Chen watched it go, a prayer on her lips, before turning her attention to the battle at hand. The next hours were a blur of tactical maneuvers, explosions, and desperate gambles. The Allied fleet fought valiantly, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. Ship after ship fell to the Separatists' onslaught. Just as it seemed all hope was lost, Chen's comm crackled to life. Captain, it was Rodriguez, her voice strained but triumphant. We've found it. Starborn is interfacing with the artifact now, but... The transmission cut off abruptly. Chen's heart raced. Rodriguez, do you copy? Silence. Suddenly, a blinding light erupted from the heart of the nebula. It expanded rapidly, engulfing ships on both sides of the conflict. Chen braced herself, expecting destruction, but instead felt peace. Images, emotions, and memories, not her own, flooded her mind. She saw through the eyes of her enemies, felt their fears and hopes. And she knew they were experiencing the same, seeing the world from her perspective, and those of the hybrids they had persecuted. As quickly as it had begun, the phenomenon ended. The battlefield fell silent. Captain, Patel said, his voice filled with awe, the separatist fleet, they're powering down their weapons. Chen nodded, tears in her eyes. Open a channel to all ships. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of the profound experience they had all shared. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UAS Horizon. We have all felt the power of unity, the strength that comes from understanding one another. Let this be the end of our conflict and the beginning of a new era of cooperation. One by one, ships from both sides signaled their agreement. The war was over before it had truly begun. A new dawn. In the days that followed, representatives from across the galaxy gathered on Earth. The activation of the artifact had changed everything, opening paths of communication and understanding that had never before been possible. Captain Chen stood before the assembled delegates, Starborn at her side. The hybrid child had survived the activation, though the process had aged them, both physically and mentally. They now stood as a bridge between worlds, a living symbol of the unity they had all experienced. We stand at a crossroads, Chen began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. We have been given a gift, the ability to truly understand one another, to see past our differences and recognize the common hopes and fears that unite all sapient beings. She paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human, alien, and hybrid alike. But this gift comes with a responsibility. We must use this newfound understanding to build a better future for all. No more persecution, no more fear of those who are different. Together, we can explore the cosmos, unravel its mysteries, and face whatever challenges lie ahead. Cheers erupted from the assembled crowd. As Chen stepped back, other speakers took the podium. Scientists proposing joint research initiatives, diplomats drafting new interstellar accords, and hybrid representatives outlining their vision for a fully integrated galactic society. Later, as the formal proceedings wound down, Chen found herself in a quiet garden, gazing up at the stars. Starborn joined her, their mental link now a comfortable, familiar presence. We did it, Chen said softly. But this is just the beginning, isn't it? Starborn trilled in agreement, sharing images of the vast, unexplored reaches of the universe that awaited them. Chen smiled. You're right. There's so much more to discover, so many new friends to meet. She held out her hand, and Starborn took it. What do you say we go see what's out there? As they turned to leave, Chen caught sight of a shooting star streaking across the sky. She made a silent wish. not for herself, but for the countless beings across the galaxy who were, at that very moment, looking up at their own skies and dreaming of a brighter future. The journey that had begun with a single act of compassion, rescuing a lone, abandoned hybrid child, had blossomed into something greater than anyone could have imagined. Humanity had proven itself worthy of the stars, not through military might or technological prowess, but through empathy, courage, and an unwavering commitment to doing what was right. As Chen and Starborn walked back towards the bustling conference center, the captain couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement for what lay ahead. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and challenges alike. But now, united in understanding and purpose, they would face it together. The age of division was over. The age of unity had begun. And somewhere out there, among the countless stars and swirling nebulae, new adventures awaited for humanity, for the hybrids, and for all those who dared to dream of a cosmos united in diversity. The end and a new beginning.